You're listening to a Time Machine podcast. Old Movie Time Machine. An adventure through time and or space. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Old Movie Time Machine. This is the show in which we use color films made in the old US of A between the years of 1945 and 1965 as windows into the past. We crawl through these windows and we explore the world beyond. We check out the people, the places, the sights, the sounds, the smells. And while we do this, we're going to ask some critical questions, such as, these people we're examining? Who are these people? What are their habits? How are they treating one another? What decisions are they making? And why? And also, and arguably the most important, what are they wearing and what do their living rooms look like? And at the end of the show, we're going to answer the ultimate question on behalf of all of humanity here in the 21st century, which is this movie that we just watched, that we just explored, poked, prodded, probed even. Do we keep watching this thing? We're going to keep shuffling this down the line. You're going to show your kids, and they're going to show their kids. We'll be your grandkids, and then great-grandkids. We're going to keep watching this shit. I mean, some of them are nice. I'm sorry. Movie, I'm sorry. You're not shit. You're great. I'm your host, by the way. Through time and or space, Justin Zeppa. Joined as ever by my incredible panel of international experts at being human beings in the early 21st century. Starting on my left, as ever, Katherine Sherlock. Hey.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Thank you.
And to your left, Shrishma Naik is in the house. In fact, this is her house. Hi, Trish.
What's up, guys?
Thank you for inviting us. Sorry. Thank you.
Of course. Just Boo Heights.
Boo Heights. We're here.
At Yaya Homie.
Mm-hmm. And then to your left, across the ocean, my sister and yours, Carolyn Naoroz. Hey, sis.
Hey there.
Hi. We're waving at the camera right now.
Hi.
Oh, hi. Hi. You guys. It's a very exciting time here for Old Movie Time Machine. This is the kickoff of what I hope will be a yearly occurrence, an annual gala festival event, you guys. We're calling it Hitchcocktober. It has some extended name, too, about, like an October of thrilling suspense or something, unrivaled suspense, something like that. You'll see it in the ads, right? But anyway, we are celebrating the fall season here, cranking things up in the suspense department. This is going to be a month of thrills and possibly chills.
Because it's getting cold.
Well, because of that, and also because of the dead bodies, possibly thrills. An extra element there added for you. That's a freebie. Normally we keep that for the Patreon, but you guys at home can have that. I'm talking, of course, about the master, Alfred Hitchcock, and we're going to be watching his movies this October, aka Shocktober. Think about it. Don't think about it. It's fine. It's fine. Shrishma is ready to move out of her own house at this point. Sorry, you're stuck.
Is it Shocktober or Hitchcocktober?
It's Hitchcocktober. Sorry, I don't mean to mix up the branding. Somebody else has got Shocktober. Okay. We actually have Hitchcocktober, you guys. We have the domain name.
Okay.
Somehow that escaped everybody's glance. So we've got that guy. Okay. I don't know what we're going to do with it. Put it in t-shirts or something like that. T-shirts and websites.
We're going to do everything with it.
Yeah. Probably special cover art too, I would imagine. So if you're watching this, if you're listening to this, take a look at your phone right now and probably you will see different cover art from the typical blue void cover, we call that. So that's exciting for you guys. Don't know what it looks like at this point, but I imagine it's going to be really good. So.
Do we have tumblers? Because I feel like a Hitchcocktober tumbler with some pumpkin spice latte in it would be really good.
Oh, I like where your head's at, Carolyn. And you know what? We do have tumblers. You can go right now. If you go to the show notes, you can click our TeePublic link and you can order yourself a tumbler that is branded to Old Movie Time Machine swag, so you can do that. And we very much recommend you to do that, please, because we're an independent operation here. We got to put food on our podcasting table. So please help us out. That's your call to action, number one. Guys, we're talking about Alfred Hitchcock's lesser masterpiece. Well, masterpiece, tough to say. Katherine, you've been biting your tongue. We drove out here together. You've made very little comment about this.
I'm saving it.
Okay. We're talking about a movie called The Trouble with Harry. Now, just real quick, has anybody seen this before?
No.
Okay. So this is, it's not your Vertigo level Hitchcockian legendary picture, right? But I will say, Catherine, I don't care what your opinion is. I mean, I never care what your opinion is. No, I care and I respect you, even when I disagree with you. But I will say, I think we could possibly all agree that this is the most autumnal of movies that you could possibly conceive of right now. I mean, half the movie is just gorgeous landscapes.
That's true.
Of New England.
Yeah. Eye-popping.
Color change.
Yeah.
Shot in beautiful VistaVision. It's the widest of screens. It's the brightest of colors. It's fantastic. I love it. And I'm feeling the mood. And I miss it because, we broadcast from Iceland here. The trees, they're not so, they're fine. They're good. I'm not knocking the trees. They're just not as grandiose as the ones you would find maybe on the Eastern Seaboard.
I was going to say they're not as New Englandy.
Let's go see the real deal, you guys. I mean, this is the first shot. And my God, I love it. It's beautiful. This is just a typical New England white, simple church seated amongst some dead leaves and just beautiful countryside. And we just get shot after shot of this rolling hills. This is like Peyton Place plus,
Yeah.
It is. This is an almost identical shot to the opening of Peyton Place, but somehow looks even more pristine, even though this came out before Peyton Place, I believe. This looks more modern and vibrant somehow. Maybe it's the restoration, maybe it's the film they used, but it is spectacular. All of these, I mean, this just makes me pine for my America. This is the ideal, right? These are the Sylvan Glens. And then, who else makes me pine for America? This little
kid.
Arnie.
He's like my spirit animal.
Now, you like Arnie?
Wow.
Now, do you know who Arnie is?
No.
Okay, I'm going to tell you, and you're still not going to know who he is. Okay. But then I'll explain, and you'll be like, maybe I've heard of that.
Okay.
So Arnie was played by an actor named Jerry Mathers. Jerry Mathers would very shortly go on to play Beaver in a very popular television series called Leave It to Beaver in the United States. It was on for several years and was a big hit at the time of the 1950s. So it's very synonymous with 50s life. But this is him as a wee lad right before then. And he's got his Space Ranger Tommy gun, and he is just wandering the hillsides here. And as he does so, a shot rings out. A shot that will change the trajectory of everybody in this small, sleepy town's life for the next 12 hours. And as the shot rings out, here's what I noticed. He falls to the ground because he's scared, right? And as he does, we cut on that action to a close-up of him sitting in the leaves, kind of scared. That one edit right there, and then close-up shot, is more competent than like the last dozen movies we've seen.
Absolutely.
As far as like craft goes and the art of visual storytelling. It was like right away, like, oh my God.
The character space to like feel what they're feeling. Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's just, it was such a surprise. Like when we see that random, like the one shot in some of the other movies we've seen where it's like the camera moves and it's like, oh, the camera moves. Oh my God. Okay. So they spent an extra, 2 hours on that shot today.
There
Very
was a
good.
dolly and a crane.
Yeah, exactly. Or they're pushing in. Right. Yeah.
Right.
And because that requires maybe an extra person on the staff to pull the focus or whatever to compensate for the movement, like they're like, you know what, fuck it. We just can't be bothered. So just put it on sticks and let's go. But in this case, Alfred Hitchcock is a master of
and you could definitely tell like this movie was like really nicely put together.
So like, competent. I was just so into how competent it was. Like, oh, finally somebody knows what the fuck they're doing.
Exactly.
Now, Carolyn, you mentioned Vermont.
Yes.
Do you have any information on like the shooting of this? Again, very light on the research.
Yes. Primary location shooting took place in Craftsbury, Vermont.
Craftsbury. That sounds about right. Sounds about as twee as you can get.
Assuming the town would be in full foliage, the company showed up for outdoor shots on September 27th, 1954. To the filmmaker's shock, there was hardly any foliage left. And to achieve a full effect, leaves were glued to the trees.
What?
Several scenes in the film. So I'm guessing all those scenes where they're trying to bury Harry, because it says several scenes in the film had to be shot in a rented high school gym. because of persistent
they
rain.
they
Oh,
looked
yeah.
like they
I was
were
like, oh, well,
definitely
they just
in a-
went and
in a
shot this on
studio
set.
for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's hilarious
Yeah.
that it was done in the high school gym.
Yeah, I would have thought they just would have done that in LA or something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, interesting.
Other locations included Morrisville and Barr. Anyway, you can read full details in Stephen DeRosa's book, Writing with Hitchcock.
Would love to.
Yes.
We'll put it on my list.
Yes.
They glued the leaves.
I mean, clearly
the
not in all of
trees.
those shots, but I don't know if they
Yeah.
then just went and got some
Like-
stock footage or whatever of some beautiful, like maybe they were like, oh, Peyton Place, which was filmed after that, but like maybe they were just like, hey, do you have any stock footage of Vermont in the fall?
Are you
Yeah.
guys disappointed by something you just learned?
Well, when they went to go shoot the movie in September, they found that a lot of the leaves had already fallen off the trees, so they had to glue them back on.
I don't even know how that's possible, but like,
Interesting. Yeah,
someone had an interesting job.
that's why you got interns, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yes, you want to work with Alfred Hitchcock?
Definitely will not be paying you for this, but you can participate if you would like.
Then you can put it on your CV.
Yeah, right. Worked with Hitchcock, glued his leaves. So
Sorry to burst your bubbles.
yeah, it's okay. That's this is
But this is it. I mean, the this is the story of film. It's fantasy.
right,
fantasy.
right. And this is why we don't focus too much on the behind the scenes shit, because who cares, right? All I'm seeing is the beaver walking through this beautiful autumnal pastoral scene here.
And it is beautiful.
So here he is. Yeah, it's very nice. And so he discovers a body. He sort of chases the sound of the gunshot, and he discovers what appears to be, you guys, a middle-aged man, nicely dressed in a very kind of gangstery type of suit.
Yeah, he definitely looks slimy.
So then all of this had to be done in the gym.
Yeah, this is clear sound stage right here,
Right.
or gym, apparently, gymnasium
Yeah.
stage. So he stumbles upon this body. It is a gangstery kind of looking dude wearing some also kind of flashy shoes, I would say. Very
Yeah, he's
flashy,
definitely
polished
very
shoes.
sharky dressed.
Yeah, he is. He's very shiny. There's something about it. His tie and everything.
Yeah, and the little tash.
Yes, yeah. So he runs off, having seen this body, to presumably go tell somebody. And from there, we dissolve. Well, this is a fantastic
This is a
shot, by
beautiful
the
shot.
way.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this.
And what we're looking at right now
That's
is
a real
shot from the. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, this is this is what an artist can do with a fucking movie camera. Everybody we've watched in the last 2 months, my God. So he is. What we're looking at here is a shot of the bottom of Harry's shoes. So it looks like, and then Jerry Mathers is standing behind the corpse's head. So it looks like his legs are that of the older dead gentleman's, and it's great. You'll see it on the Instagram. We're going to put it out there. But this is clever filmmaking, clever composition. And again, we're on location. We're back out of the gymnasium here. We're outside. Looks great. So he runs off. And then we dissolve to this tweedy old fellow, this rotund ball of tweed, we like to refer to as Captain Wiles
Elmer Fudd.
/ Captain Santa / Elmer Fudd, I guess.
Because he's shooting rabbits.
I guess.
And he's like, wabbits.
Yeah.
I
Round
mean,
and
but
he's
I
like,
do love
"Oh,
his
did I shoot
tweed
my rabbit?"
herringbone with the leather hunting patch.
Oh, everything
on the
he's got going.
shoulder is great.
Yeah.
Sure, we should all be so lucky as to age into this guy. So Captain Wiles is sort of just hanging out by a tree. He's been doing some light hunting for rabbit, as you mentioned, and he is sort of musing about hunting and how much he enjoys it, and how it's good for people to do. It's nice to be outside and all this. And he starts tracing the steps to his last shot, and he has fired 3 bullets, correct?
3.
One that hit a sign, one that hit a beer can, and a third that hit possibly this dead body, which was possibly alive when the bullet struck it. Could be. That's what Captain Wiles thinks anyway. And he handles it rather gracefully, I have to say. He's more disappointed than upset that this man's been shot, and he sort of wonders who it is, and he doesn't recognize him, and he makes a very salient point, which is if you're going to go and get yourself shot, just at least do it in a place where somebody knows who you are. Yeah. So it's a great point. And he does what anybody would do in that situation. Well, that's not true at all, but he does what some people might do, which is he decides to, well, he's broken something, you guys. So what do you do when you break something? You fucking find it, just put it in a drawer. Nobody needs to know about it. And that's effectively what he's going to do, the earth being his drawer. By the way, you guys, they do, to their credit, you decide, they do check one of his pockets and find a letter addressed to a Mr. Harry Warp of Boston, Massachusetts. So at least we know that it's a Harry, or at least he is affiliated with a Harry from Boston. Oh, I also wanted to see what you guys thought about the tie that Harry's wearing.
Yeah.
What is going on here? Is it elevator doors?
Nice.
It looks like some kind of gateway with some figures going into it.
It's a gazebo.
Oh, okay,
with a couple
okay.
in it.
Oh,
But then
romantic.
it is.
And there's hearts. Yeah, because he was going
hearts.
to get his wife, wasn't he?
Well, that makes sense. That's why he's so dressed up. Okay.
Didn't work though, did it?
Certainly not.
That'd been funny. If anyone comes at me with a tie like that, I'd probably hit them over the head as well.
You'd probably kill them too.
And
then call Justin to help you bury the body.
Yes.
I'd be there in a minute, in a flash, Catherine.
Tie. What was I supposed to do?
You're like, Catherine, the tie's bullshit. You're absolutely right. What's he
A tie
thinking?
is bullshit. I got take my tweed. Hold my tweed. I gotta dig a hole.
Right. So Captain Wiles begs Mrs. Gravely to not tell, and as he's about to start dragging the body away again, wouldn't you know it, somebody else from the village shows up, and it turns out to be Jennifer Rogers, played by Shirley MacLaine. This is introducing Shirley MacLaine to the world, if you care about that kind of thing. But she's real cute, right? She shows up with her, and she is a mom to little Arnie. And Arnie has retrieved her to, just show, look, I found Arnie's out there. He's a young guy. He's finding all kinds of, dead rabbits and toads and who knows what other types of creepy crawlies. And he's found himself a little body. So she has to very briefly explain why he's sleeping so soundly to Arnie, who is fine with it. And she also recognizes him and calls him by the name of Harry. So Captain Wiles is hiding in the bushes, of course, throughout all this. So he's hearing all of this. He's getting caught up to speed as well.
Which, if you look in the background of this, you can see there are very few leaves on the trees on the hill behind, and yet they have definitely glued those on.
Oh, that's interesting. This does look like some kind of heat of leaves.
But then look at the trees behind.
Yeah, like back here, it's all
right.
Ooh, okay. Well,
but
you know
I love
what?
that we didn't notice it until I read that fact.
No,
So
exactly. I didn't notice it at all. And it honestly, these vibrant fake leaves kind of make the scene pop a bit more. I don't know. Yeah. Every time we see the shot quite a lot, actually, we see every character walk up this path and.
Well, I guess they've glued the leaves on. They've got to make it like.
Well, right. We took up the intern time. Exactly. Eating up the valuable college credit just to get some leaves on these fucking trees. Like, might as well shoot it.
They really wanted to feature the hard work of their Shrish turn.
That's right. Shrishma, do you remember when you started? Over on the sauropod, we were doing. And I was like, where'd you go out?
Article.
Yeah. I mean, listen, we're gonna do some shots for the social media. I need you to go out there. I need you to go glue some leaves, and you did it. And that's how you got to where you are today. You worked hard.
Put in the effort.
You buckled down. You worked hard. You glued all the leaves, and here we are today. Look at us now. So she sees Harry, and she's sort of like, well, there goes Harry. So then they take off because she's just sort of like, oh, this is okay, Harry. See you later. And from there we go, more just pastoral New England, you guys. I love it. I love this covered bridge we're looking at. We've got a bunch of cows hanging out by a river. Fucking beautiful.
Oh, I loved it.
Not a tree, not a leaf on these trees, though, Carolyn. Now that you've mentioned it, I can't tear my eyes off.
We're like, wait a second.
So we head into town, though, and we see this is small town New England living here. And
it's beautiful.
This is a roadside general store called Wiggs Emporium. And we have, now, if you follow some antiquing style television series on cable, you will know that this glass encased gas pump here will fetch a pretty penny nowadays. These are very coveted to be refurbished. And we're seeing it just live in nature here. So we are just very clearly on location. I do not see MASH being filmed on any of the hills in the background here. There's my MASH joke again. Thanks, guys. It's been a couple episodes. I thought I'd dust it off. But that is not the... I referred to those hills as the Santa Ana Hills, by the way, a couple episodes ago. I would like to correct myself. Santa Monica Hills. Excuse me.
Yes.
Excuse me. Sorry,
Santa
Carolyn.
Monica.
Sorry. But that's where they shot MASH in every movie that we've watched so far that's not set in New York City. Except for Trouble with Harry. Here we are. So,
and Peyton Place.
And Peyton Place, of course. And Peyton Place. And we see outside Wiggs Emporium that we've got an art stand display. There is some modern art. Catherine, could you give us you're sort of our chief aesthetics officer. Could you tell us about the art that's being sold roadside here in New England?
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much enjoyed everything that was here. Particularly like that sketchy little portrait there. That's,
Oh, me too.
Very nice.
I love
Just
that
the line.
one.
It looks like he's taking the line for a walk there for that one.
Yeah.
I also liked this little pastoral one in between at the bottom.
Absolutely.
It was very, like I would have that in my house.
Yeah, and I mean, he's this is all the work of one artist, and he's got different styles, and he's pushing. Yeah, the boundaries of modern art.
Yeah. And of course, we're talking about Sam Marlowe, who is currently singing his way into town here. He's taken a train to Tuscaloosa or something like this, as we just get a load of, and again, this is Hitchcock just lingering on these shots of country life here. It really, we're in no hurry to get anywhere, you guys. We're just hanging out roadside here. So he shows up and he meets old Wiggy, Mrs. Wiggs, who runs Wiggs Emporium, of course, who is...
I do love that he calls her Wiggy.
Wiggy, yeah. And Sam, how do we describe Sam Marlowe?
He is happy-go-lucky.
He's jocular.
Kind of...
He's a free spirit, a bit of a free spirit, right?
Just kind of going with the flow of life.
But he's a little philosophical.
Absolutely, yeah, he's a thinker.
Yep. And I'm kind of curious as to where he comes from. He's clearly not a local, right? He seems to be relatively new to town because he's meeting many of these people for the first time. And I'm kind of curious. He claims that he is, quote unquote, about 30. So
lies.
Yeah, let's be generous and say mid to late 30s, maybe. But very curious as to what his background is and what allows him to live an artist lifestyle in New England.
Yeah, and not at this point sell.
Right. Yeah. Selling zero paintings on a roadside.
He's giving paintings in order to pay for his local, food store.
He's pulling a
bill.
Picasso. Here's a napkin with a doodle on it.
Here,
can I have a
Mrs.
beer?
Wiggs, I will give you this painting. Can you please give me some food? And that's why she's got so many of his paintings.
Oh, that makes sense. Once they're inside the shop, we see that his art is hanging up everywhere. Carolyn, that's a way to put it together. That's why you're on the show, sis. Love it. So he's a starving artist hanging out with Wiggy. He's got a new painting he's bringing over to her. She's like, you're not selling any of these fucking things. I don't know. You keep bringing this stuff, but all right. And he pulls a very clever, I thought it was clever at first. He buys half a pack of cigarettes. And he does this by just scissoring a pack of cigarettes in two, which I guess is the artist's way of handling that, because I'm just thinking like, buddy, just take out 10, like there's 20 in there, take out 10, buy the other 10 tomorrow. But as they are hanging out roadside, we meet Mrs. Wiggs' son, Calvin Wiggs, seen here dressed up in, guys, it's a great outfit. I know we're kind of fuzzy on how we feel about Calvin, right? But this is the jacket I showed up in to this house today. Yeah. I've got this fucking brown fedora.
I saw this and I was like, there's Justin.
You just need the car.
I just
immediately
need the car.
was like, there's my brother.
And you know what,
he looks
Shrishma?
nothing like you.
That's where I draw the line. Because it's things like that. And Catherine, the cyclist, the Tweety cyclist, going to draw a line there because you know what? We don't fucking live in 1910. We live in the 21st century. And so I can wear these high quality garments. I'm not going to be tooling around on a fucking bicycle, ringing my little dingy dong bell, pretending like it's not like I don't have the most powerful shooting device in my pocket, which I certainly do. I'm talking about my phone, of course.
Yeah.
Back to Calvin here in his sweet outfit. He's got a Model A that he's tricking out and he's going to resell it. And this is kind of his business, but also he's the deputy, right? He's the local law enforcement for the town. Do we ever get a name at the town? I don't think we do.
No.
Okay. But whatever town it is, he's in charge. And so he's sort of like, well, guys, did you guys hear gunshots earlier? Because I did. And I think I'm going to go do some checking out. This is my job. And look, you all know me and Sam Marlowe. Yeah, we're pretty simpatico with many things. But I will say that Sam's attitude towards shooting guns does not align with my personal worldview. He's sort of like, well, people should be free to shoot guns. It's good to shoot guns. It's a release, and why shouldn't people have that?
What do you got against people doing a little shooting now and then? Let off a little steam.
And Calvin, who is being painted as
Hard as.
well, just like the foil,
He's
right?
straight, yeah.
Yeah, he's the opposite of Sam. Freewheeling Sam. He's a real by the book kind of guy. He's like, yeah, but it's dangerous. Like people get shot with guns, and it's the law. And I'm just like, yeah, Calvin, you have a point. I know you're supposed to be an asshole, and I can be on board with that, but also give the man his point when he has it. And because Sam's attitude, which has led us to where we are today, it just leads to a pile of bodies every weekend, it seems like. So, Sam, wrong side of history there. But anyway. That's right, it's me, Midroll Jay-Z, coming at you, interrupting the show, per usual, to let you know about the amazing products we have available for you here at Old Movie Time Machine. That's right. As you have no doubt heard by this point, it is officially what people like me call spooky season. That's right. It's October, which means for Old Movie Time Machine, it is Hitchcocktober, which means great merchandise for you guys. That's right. We have a brand new design for Hitchcocktober, celebrating all of the ghoulish things. It's the perfect place for you to break a body and then bury it, you guys. So please check out our new design. It's available on our TeePublic store. The link is in the show notes, as ever. You go, you check it out. It's Hitchcocktober. You wear it with pride. You wear it with shame. Wear it with no dignity at all. I don't care how you wear it, but please, you guys, just get one and wear it. And if you do, I'm going to thank you in a very spooky voice like this. Thank you. And now back to the show. And this is where we get to spend some time with Jennifer and her son Arnie, who shows up with a dead rabbit. He's got a dead rabbit he's found.
Yeah.
And he trades it for a toad that Sam cleverly has brought. Is it a frog?
It's a frog.
Was it a frog? Okay, excuse me.
But so why does he have that in a bag?
I think he knew. So
he was going to distract the boy so that he could cash up his mother.
He's eyeballed.
So we could talk about doing nude portraits of his mother.
Yeah. So
and he's got time to go frog catching, and he knows that like if I get in good with Arnie, maybe this will help me.
Yeah, okay. I was like, what is this?
It does seem a bit random.
Frog and rabbit is the note I had.
You don't have a frog
Why?
in your pocket, right?
No.
But
Or
I
a
did
dead
feel
rabbit.
like, in general, this movie was very high concept. Everything was there for a reason. In as much as it could be high concept for the time period.
There's not a lot of explanation that goes along with it. Any of these things, they're not over-explaining. They're not dumbing it.
It's a bit farcical. The whole thing. It's a comedy
this
of
rabbit
errors.
then kind of like becomes the plot point of, okay, if there were 3 gunshots fired, and one of them being this dead rabbit that Arnie found in the woods as he was in the beginning of the film tromping around the woods, then it's like, well, did the captain shoot the guy or not? I mean, so this is when it sort of like becomes, like there's a purpose for Arnie showing up, 1, in the woods at the beginning, and 2, then with this dead rabbit later.
Right. Yeah,
it does move the plot forward.
There's some tight plotting there, very helpful. And
especially for the era.
Now, she keeps offering lemonade throughout the scene, but he's not drinking it. And we're learning all about Jennifer and her relationship with Harry. Now, As I
You have
recall,
thoughts about this?
her relationship is as follows. She was in love with Harry's brother, Robert,
Mm-hmm.
and they were supposed to be married, but
They were
Robert,
married.
They were married.
they were married. Okay.
Yes.
And then he was
died.
killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was killed.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if we are to assume that he was killed in, say,
The war.
Korea or, yeah, probably not Korea because that would have just been a couple of years earlier. So possibly the war.
The end of the war in like the Pacific Theater.
Yeah, could be, but also could be maybe he was part of organized crime as well. Because again, this guy, he's real shiny. He's wearing a lot of shiny stuff. But we don't really find out. Harry, being the brother, feels compelled to marry her in a very 19th century fashion of
Duty.
yes, right.
Well, this is it. She finds out she's pregnant. So she would then become a single mother. So
Yes.
I think there's the looking after his brother's child as well as his wife.
yeah. And eventually they do get married, and then on their wedding night, she gets herself all
She's
hot and
dressed up.
bothered and
She's
ready
ready.
to
Yeah, she'd worked
do
up
this.
a certain amount of enthusiasm.
exactly.
I
Quite
love her
hilarious.
performance in this. It's very Shirley MacLaine.
You watch your
But
mouth.
it's very offhanded, where she's just like, well, this is what happened. I mean,
Yeah.
you're like, okay, Shirley, good for you.
Yeah, how do we feel about Jennifer? Do we like her? Do we not like her?
I like her. I mean, she's a little around the houses, and she's not as direct as I'd like her to be. But and I'm not entirely sure why
mm,
the telling of her story is so strung out with Lemonade and
That
other.
I think
Yeah.
is a
Pauses.
writer.
yes.
Because it's also the only kind of explanation we get for Harry. Like,
Yeah.
his existence
Yeah.
in
Right.
this part of the world.
Right, right.
It's a little flimsy.
Yeah, so he abandons her on their wedding night because he's a horoscope reader.
is he Indian? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, could be.
Yes, he must be.
He communed with his matchmaker,
Right.
got his manila folder, and he opened it up and he was like, not
Auntie
tonight.
Seema gave
Yeah.
her opinion.
Yeah, I think specifically it said not to start anything new today.
Yes, right. Which is
There were the two really good lines: is her working up a certain amount of enthusiasm and start anything new
and
today.
then she's like, you get what I mean, right? And he's like, yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
understand. Yeah.
I'm with you. I'm
Yeah.
literally on the edge of my seat with you.
Right.
Can you do it
He's
again?
like, can I work
Yeah,
you
exactly.
up into a
Can
certain
you say
state
these
of,
words again so I can watch your mouth that I'm obsessed with?
Yeah, it's,
Oh
right.
my God.
And
He was very direct.
Yes. I
so,
like that though.
yeah, that's right. We should talk about Sam and his approach.
Mm.
It's
His approach was, I want to paint your portrait, and I want to paint your portrait nude.
Yeah.
And I was like, who are you? My husband? That's the kind of shit he says to me.
yeah, sure. I mean, any man worth his salt should say that to somebody who you're probably already familiar with. I would
Right.
say. I don't know if you open with that, right?
Yeah, someone you've just met and given their child a
Well,
frog.
She's-
Jack and Rose did it.
Well, that's true. That's true.
You know, how we all know how that
Exactly.
ended.
So Harry returns, and she doesn't like the fact that he abandoned her on their wedding night, and she doesn't like the fact that he's beholden to his horoscope in such a fashion. And how can she rely on him at all? So she hits him on the head with a milk bottle.
No,
that's later. I'm
don't
sorry.
say that. Yeah.
What- so- but
then
so she leaves him. She just
She
leaves.
goes to her mother.
Okay, right.
And that's it.
She takes
and that's
off.
the last time she sees him
Until that morning, he showed up,
Mhm.
and
Yeah, because she moved,
mhm,
changed her name.
Yes.
Because he apparently, I think he kept trying to find her and show up like bad
mhm, yes.
smell,
Yeah,
as it were,
right.
which he maybe is in this one.
Mhm.
And yeah, but then obviously, as you say, to down here.
And that's when she hits him over the head with a milk bottle.
Yeah.
And he's
Sends him silly.
dizzy. Yes, right. And he kind of stumbles off into the woods.
That's kind of aggressive response to.
I thought so too. I was
Yeah,
actually
but the
waiting.
tie, we forgot.
Well, the tie is abysmal, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Guilty is charged.
I still don't think.
Shrishma, you gotta have my back.
Well, I wonder, Shrishma, to your point, I wonder if we're supposed to read more into this.
Okay.
Is this some kind of veiled reference to something? Again, we're in the 50s. We can't say things directly if it's unpleasant, So is there something coded in there? Maybe, I don't know. I have to watch it again. But as far as I can tell, nah, she just doesn't like him. She
Yeah,
doesn't
she's
wanna
just
be
like,
with him.
oh, you again.
And his pursuit
Bang.
is a real turnoff. So maybe it's just the pursuit has been very aggressive.
Interesting.
But that's why he's dressed so fancy, is he was trying to woo back his lady. Yeah, but there's something up there. There's something else. We're not going to find out in this movie, but maybe in the prequel. I don't know. I guess that is the question, right? What the trouble with Harry is. What's this guy's deal? So she doesn't really care what happens with him or his body, as it were. So we've got that taken care of. Meanwhile, we got ourselves a red hot date between Katherine Wiles and Miss Gravely over here, and she is all glowed up. She's got her ribbon in her hair.
Yeah, and she's definitely got her best dress on there.
Certainly, and he is wearing his best captain-y outfits as well. And they enjoy some coffee and blueberry muffins, and that's just most of what that scene is.
And I do believe some elderberry wine.
Yes, a 1950 vintage according to the label.
Yes.
So there's that.
Yeah, Shrishma, we need to hashtag blueberry muffin this.
Seriously. We are doing so much for the blueberry muffin industry with this recording right now. And so Arnie shows up with his rabbit, and he wants to make some great trades. And this is where it comes together, and the captain realizes, I did get the rabbit. Oh, he's so delighted that he actually hit a rabbit during his hunting excursion, and also that he's not a killer. Right. He's put together. Now, I wanted to highlight this scene where his young Arnie's reward being 2 blueberry muffins. He is handling those muffins with dead rabbit hands. And
I thought
to
exactly
look
the same
about
thing.
it.
But also,
Nothing.
I liked his negotiation because she was only going to give him the one, and he was like, "Whoa, lady, this is a 2 muffin rabbit."
Yeah. Get after my own heart.
Yeah, that's right. Well, you got to negotiate, right?
Gotta get 2.
That's right.
One is not enough.
He was in the position to do so. So now that we know that Harry was not shot by Kevin Wiles, it's time to get rid of the body. Right. Also, the fact that we also know that Jennifer doesn't care what happens with Harry. We got to get rid of this corpse, you guys. So we're going back up to the hill. We're grabbing shovels, and it is Captain Wiles and Sam who has agreed to help as long as Jennifer is cool with it. I think he might be into her. So at this point, another thing that happens is that it's not as cut and dried as we're just going to let the body go to the authorities because it was all an accident and just a big old misunderstanding. And it's because it might compromise Jennifer's situation to have her private life splashed all over the public. So once the right questions are asked about Harry and where he comes from and why he's there, then the sordid backstory of his horoscope reading, again, question marks all around on that one. Yeah. But that could come out and really harm her reputation somehow. So it's back up to the hillside to bury the body. And away we go. And at this point, it's evening. It's just magnificent, you guys. It's just an old cornfield, fantastic, or a wheat field, or some kind of field, and it's all filled with dead shit. And it's like fall, you guys. Yeah. Now, while they are hanging out in Wiggs Emporium, Calvin shows up again, and he has run into the tramp/vagrant, and he has found these fancy shoes, and his little police sniffer is up, and he's like, something's amiss here. So he's going to go to the shop and call the real police and tell them, like, hey, you guys, I think I got a crime here. And he's also still just wearing a pretty sweet outfit here, I've got to add. While Calvin is on the phone, he, of course, catches a glimpse of the sketch that Sam made earlier in the day of Harry's dead face. And he's like, this matches the description of the man who's gone missing. And I've got these gunshots, and I've got this tramp with the shoes.
Yeah, I mean, they don't know that there's a missing man. It's the description the tramp gave of the dead body that off which he
Catherine,
he robbed the shoes.
So at this point, there's a marriage conversation. And Sam's just like, Jennifer, we've only known each other for about 6 hours, but
you're the one
I'm in love with you, and I want to marry you. And again, this kind of goes along with the charming general attitude of this movie of things that might be earth-shattering for anybody else in any other situation are sort of just dealt with in a sort of, that's interesting. Let me have a think on that. And so they head back to her house to hang out because they are now all besties, as you do. And she decides, yes, I think I will marry you. And it's real sweet. And they kiss, and it's not terribly gropey. It seems to be a consensual kiss. So again, you take the W, Shrishma, when you can get it, right?
Yeah. But again, there was another nice line from her, which was, go gently, I've got a short fuse.
Yeah.
I was like,
hey-o.
good lady. Been feeling ya.
Damn, Sam, I think you may have bitten off more than you can chew.
myself.
Good Lord. And of course, the other friends are really happy for them, which is very sweet. And this is when they come to the realization of like, wait a minute, you guys. So she's still married to Harry. If there's no body, how do we know that Harry's dead? And we can nullify the marriage. It takes 7 years to process the lost at sea explanation or, whatever, the missing person clause. So let's not have to dig up that goddamn body again. Going back out there. We got to do it. And here we go. And this is, again, just beautiful countryside of them about to dig. And so they take the body back to Jennifer's house. They realize that, boy, we've made quite a mess of this body at this point. So we need to, again, hand wash his clothing
several times.
Yeah. There are surely going to be some questions about the state of Harry's body. And, accidents will happen. But this is, we've been shifting him an awful lot. So they take him back. They clean him up in the bathtub. And they
hang on. Doesn't the doctor come along again?
When they are
up there, when they've dragged him out,
yes,
and he trips over and then notices the body.
This is the third tripping, I believe.
I believe so.
Yeah, and
he notices the body, but he does not notice the open, shallow grave.
No.
And the big pile of dirt.
No, he's Catherine, he's an eccentric, bookish man.
Yes.
It's like literally the most unobservant doctor ever.
He's terrible. And the way that he presents himself, he's so noodly, right? We use this term a lot, but he's just like, well, I don't even know what's going on. Like, well, what are you talking about? What? He just has a way about him that, guys, I think it's kind of funny. I'm sorry.
Well, somebody tell me what he's doing in the bathtub half undressed.
No, I know it's not for you, but I think it's funny.
It's
what happened?
Yeah.
What?
Dug him up.
But he's like, they want him to diagnose what killed this man.
Well,
and he's like, I can't see.
Yeah.
And that's when they decide to bring the body
He's real
back.
fussy, yeah.
Captain Wiles attacked Miss Gravely?
And so, yes, okay, so now we're back in the house. We're cleaning up everything to get the final.
Yeah, because the thing is, they want to clean him up, basically put him back.
Yeah.
And then, reenact the whole thing.
Right. They are playing this off.
And then call the authorities.
Yes. As an accident, like, well, we don't know what happened. Well, it's
exactly.
crazy.
We didn't bury him and unbury him 5 times and do all kinds of other shenanigans and have dates in the middle of all of this.
Yes. Blueberry muffins. Do not forget the goddamn blueberry muffins.
Blueberry muffins.
Delicious. Brought to you by the Muffin Council.
Yeah, so they got to clean him up.
Yeah. And while they do, who should show up? Alvin's back, you guys, and he's got some questions. He's got this sketch.
Right.
And he would like some answers
this
because
was the funniest part of the movie.
This is, you like this part? Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So he presents this sketch. He's like, this is the description we got. This is it. So tell me the story of this art. And Sam goes off on a very, let's say, junior year of college explanation of art and how art works and all of this, and about how it's just it just springs from his mind, his subconscious. It could be, it's all amorphous and shifting all the time. Look at this. I can actually, he takes the drawing from him and he starts doing some additional sketching. So his eyes are open, and Calvin's just standing there like, are you fucking kidding me? And again, I know Calvin's supposed to be the foil, right? And we're not supposed to like him very much, but I was with Calvin. I'm just like,
you just destroyed vital evidence.
I can't believe it. And also,
right in front of him, looking.
Yeah.
yes, and also, I felt kind of bad for him because he also acknowledges, like, well, I mean, you've kind of made a fool out of me with your explanation because you're fucking book learned or whatever.
I'm not smart,
but also, I've put all this together, motherfucker. So what's happening?
Far off. He's definitely on the trail of something.
He's doing his job.
There are shenanigans afoot.
Right. So I felt bad for him that he was made to feel so little, to be talked down to because he didn't go to fucking college or whatever. Yeah, break.
Yeah. So could we also talk in this scene about how he's like leaned up against the cupboard door that keeps
Yes,
opening?
we need to talk about that.
Okay, so you have that view because obviously the assumption is the body is in there.
Yes, and I actually
because they've cleaned everything up.
I have that note here scratched out when it was revealed of like, oh yeah, that's right. It's just a clothing rack. It's pushing against the door,
exactly.
But that's the whole scene is played.
But yeah, it's like the door being creepy and the creepy music has all led up to this point, and then it's like, no, the body's not in there.
Yeah. That's a very
and that was a genuine. Oh, well, where's the body then? For me.
And then where's the body, Catherine? And who discovers the body? He's in the bathtub, and Arnie's
just like, why's he at the bath?
And they play it off like, well, because that's where a frog is supposed to live. And Calvin, again, is just sort of mystified by everybody's behavior. So
again, there's the feet.
Yes.
All he had to do was look a little, and then he could
see,
like,
and in the background, we can see the red-toed socks emerging. Or no, not the socks, just the feet. The
feet.
Their socks are hidden, yeah.
Yeah, the socks have been washed and ironed.
Yes. And also at this point, Captain Wiles honks out. He's like, I gotta go. I'm not a part of this. See you later. And he leaves. Or does he, you guys? Because we think he might be a coward, even though he's said multiple times throughout this film that he has faced death many times on his nautical adventures, right?
Yeah.
But he is off sneaking into Calvin's car to take the Cramp's shoes back / Harry's shoes back to get rid of the evidence. He's a clever little Santa, you guys. We like Captain Wiles. But it does turn out later he confesses to his lady love. Look, I didn't sail the 7 seas. I was just operating a tugboat in the East River. And would you love me anyway? And she does. She's into it.
Yeah.
She likes his house and all the things in it.
Yeah. I mean, that's a keeper. Anybody who's going to put up with that nonsense, do not let her go. Yeah. So they get Calvin to leave.
Doesn't the doctor come in before he leaves? So there's yet another layer of confusion.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So, and he's looking for the body. Like, well, where is he? And then, so then we're talking about.
That's when he goes inside.
Oh, he's in. Yeah, Arnie's in the. Yes, right.
Yeah.
And so that's what. There's a lot of confusion. It's very. There's a bit faulty towers.
Yes, very.
So, which is a great time. I'm here for it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
Faulty towers.
Ugh.
You're welcome. I will show myself out. So the doctor ends up diagnosing that Harry died of a heart attack. So nobody killed Harry.
Is responsible for his death.
Right. They all took pot shots at him, but nature brought him down in the end, as she always will.
Well, you've got to wonder, did any of these actions contribute to said heart attack?
Probably.
Well, yeah, he did. Counting. He got a boot to the head. He got a milk jar to the head. He was shot at.
He was heartbroken.
And he was so sad.
Yeah.
I feel like, Shrishma, maybe you are pretty empathetic for Harry.
Yeah, because I feel like the reason she left him, like that whole thing seems like a little sketch.
She didn't love him.
Right. Then why did she marry him?
Because she had an Arnie.
Right.
Because Arnie. She looked after Arnie.
Right. So she made the choice to marry him.
They were both doing something dutiful.
Right. Mm-hmm. But she made the choice to marry him and then decided.
No, then he didn't want to show up.
He didn't come through.
Yeah, he would have been there the next day.
If they had equal. Like he would have up equal enthusiasms.
Well, he would have been enthusiastic the next day.
You don't know that.
Not if the newspaper said otherwise.
Yeah.
I'm just saying they might have been able to talk about it a little more before she stormed off.
Yeah, that was impulsive.
Agreed.
It might have been worth at least 1 to 2 more
conversations. Absolutely. But no.
And that tie? Do we need to bring up the tie again?
Yeah. A horrific tie.
And so we end as we began. they've placed Harry back out on the hillside, and we see him. He's got his shoes back and everything. And then we end up learning what the secret request was from the millionaire. A double bed.
Oh.
Very practical for a couple about to get busy. Hello. All right. And the trouble with Harry is over. The end. We did it, you guys.
There's no more trouble.
Yeah. So
Trouble with Harry's over.
it's good.
Until someone else runs into him.
You guys, I love it. It's good. It's Hitchcocktober.
It was good.
We're breaking into Hitchcocktober. It's fall.
So far, though, both the movies have not lived up to the
Okay.
The hype
hype that you have created.
Okay. All right. I mean, North by Northwest, I don't know what to tell you. It's just,
It's not my jam.
this is,
Should watch it again. I don't know.
I don't think it's, I don't
maybe
know.
it's a grower.
I don't know. So, in conclusion, you guys,
Mm.
this movie we just watched,
Mm.
Trouble with Harry,
Mm.
1955,
Mm.
Alfred Hitchcock, week 1 of Hitchcocktober, Katherine Sherlock.
Yes.
We keep watching this thing or what?
Well, you know what I have here? Is that really the question? Could it be there's an obscure, unrelated tangent here?
No.
I don't know. This is a comment on the film.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yes. I think it is a yes from me.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
It's acceptable. All right.
It's different and beautiful to look at, even if, and I mean, there's a lot of unexpected reactions and strange choices.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But that adds to it.
Well, I think so. Shrishma Naik. We keep watching this thing or what?
I actually liked the movie, like outside of it being a little quirky. I thought it was a really nice, like well-made movie.
Mm-hmm.
And even though it was not suspenseful, it was, you could tell the caliber of the art that kind of went into making it. So I think in terms of that, like outside of the story being a little bit different, I think that's also the fun of it. So I actually enjoyed this one.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty
So-
tongue in cheek. Do you think this is Hitchcock having a pop at himself a little bit?
Probably. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. I think
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, his career he's 25 years deep into his career of making movies like this, but more serious. you know,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's aware of his own tropes for sure.
Yeah.
And I think he had fun. Like it was fun. Like the little kid was fun. There were little quirky lines along the way.
Mhm.
It was enjoyable.
Okay, I'm so glad to hear it. Wow, I didn't know which way this was going to go. But
So
wait,
hang on. So this is Hitch trope.
so I'm sure we can trademark that. Sissy,
Yes.
Trouble with Harry.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you like it?
For many of the same reasons. I mean, it's beautiful to watch. I loved that it was a very tight, like hour and a half long movie. It made murder charming. What can I say? So
It's a charmer, no doubt.
You know, I did not keep North by Northwest, and I have other Hitchcock films that I love, but this one, it was, I mean, you could do it as a stage play, like I said, and I could totally see it being remade, but yeah, as is, it was great. Keep it.
You guys.
You got a 4 on 4.
You got a clean sweep here.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Nah, I think we did War of the Worlds. Everybody
Maybe.
passed that one.
Oh, yeah.
And we've all rejected one of them
Several.
too. Yeah, well, probably several. You're right. So, you guys, I love The Trouble with Harry. I love Alfred Hitchcock. And you know what else I love? Fall.
We're going to have to come up with the list of things that we've kept.
Yeah, we need to start collating the data. We need to start keeping better records for the artifacts.
We need to have a running list on like the website.
I was
that
actually
says
going to
what?
make a
what
cheat
we-
sheet. Like if we can go back and we can make like a.
We need a Google
start of
sheet.
it.
We need it. Yeah.
Make a column in the Google sheet for whether we kept it or not.
Okay, I will. There's a whole process for you to go through and listen to all
You
these
can
all
add
over
the
again.
names on the top.
Yeah. We'll keep track. Absolutely.
Just saying.
And that is The Trouble with Harry. It is over. So let's talk about next week, you guys. Week 2 of Hitchcocktober. Oh, feels like fall. Now we've kicked off the season. Let's go carve some fucking pumpkins or something. Next week, we are talking about 1948's Rope.
Is this going to live up to the hype?
I don't know. I quite like this movie. I mean, that doesn't mean anything to you, of course, but let me lay it out for you. 2 men attempt to prove they committed the perfect crime by hosting a dinner party after strangling their former classmate to death. Starring Jimmy Stewart, Farley Granger, and John Dahl. next week on Old Movie Time Machine. Guys, thank you so much for indulging me. Fall. This is the start of fall. This movie, you guys, just put it on your Google calendars or whatever for whenever, September 15th or whatever, and just get into the spirit. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about here. Before we get full Halloween, just enjoy the leaf peeping, So, Catherine, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having me.
Shrishma, give yourself a round of applause, kiddo. Lovely. Carolyn, you're my sister and I love you. You're the best in the biz.
Lies.
Congratulations. Now over to me from the editing booth.
You're great, Justin. We
future.
love you.
Oh, thank you so much. Do it, future me.
Thank you for giving us all the Vermont.
Yeah, you got it.
Full Vermont
Anything for you guys.
tea. Full Vermont tea.
I got a Delaware as just like a bonus too. Anybody want Delaware?
No.
No.
No? All right, never mind. Thank you so much. Me from the past. Well done to you and yours, you guys. Another one is in the books. This concludes this episode of Old Movie Time Machine. Hope you enjoyed that kickoff to Hitchcocktober. Let us know what you thought about The Trouble with Harry. Write us an email at partyline@oldmovietimemachine.com. We would love to hear from you, as always. Also, if you loved this program and everything that was going along with it, just know that it is actually twice as long. Where's the other half, you're asking? I will tell you right now, I respond. It's on our Patreon page. We call it the Boom Room, and it is a celebration, you guys, of mid-century life, by which I mean double-length episodes. That's right. We talk about the whole damn movie, and we give you the uncut version there for a lousy $2 a month. $2 a month. It's like nothing to you. You roll over in bed and you lose $2 a month. I mean, the very least you could do is go get twice this amazing content from my people over here. So please, go sign up for that. As for next week, Hitchcocktober rolls on with 1948's Rope. That's right, Rope. And it stars Jimmy Stewart, of course, and it is quite suspenseful. So you definitely want to have a watch of this. It is, fortunately for you, available on the internet to watch in various forms. You can stream it over on Peacock Premium, or you can rent it or buy it on Apple TV, Amazon, Google Play, YouTube, Vudu, Vudon't, the Microsoft Store, Redbox, Blue Box, Yellow Box, and of course, who could forget, DirecTV. So go check out Rope by Alfred Hitchcock. It is a weird one, and get all caught up for our conversation next Wednesday. And until then, this has been Old Movie Time Machine.